back in action. How's it going, buddy? Frozen just like the Abbotsford Canucks
No, I'm
stream.
just kidding. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
What's up, my dude? How you doing these days?
Oh man, busy weekend.
Middle of the move,
We are
eh?
middle of the move. We have internet. We have a bed. Oliver has a bed. We almost got the TV set up. Office is in shambles.
So
But we're headed in the right direction now, which is good.
that's good. That's good. Are you able to watch the game tonight then? Have you been able to, I mean, I haven't even been able to watch it, but how about you?
I've had it going when it's working in my ears in the background. But yeah, no, it sounds like a pretty close game. But pretty much what the series has been. Archdeep Bain's coming up huge, getting goals in back-to-back games. How about that?
Yeah, that's big for him too, because he hadn't scored yet in this playoffs, and then suddenly to have scored in back-to-back games, that's huge.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even like he was trying; he was just snake bitten, right? But he was contributing assists, which is huge. Shelov's again in the penalty kill, doing a really good job tonight. I missed the second Texas goal. I only saw the first one, which was just what an unfortunate moment. You know, the lights go down. Abbotsford thinks they score. Everyone kind of slows down a set. Like, it's different if the lights don't go off and everything. Like, you know, it's easier to play to the whistle, but you know, they kind of let up on that one, and then it ends up like, holy moly, the worst possible thing going back the other way, and it ended up in the back of your net. But
yeah. I think Sammy Blais was still behind the other net when they scored on the Canucks. He was still back there with his hands in the air.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had my hands in the air, and then I looked, and I was like, oh, no. And when no.
Well, I'm going to blame the guy who pushes the button for the red light, because I pushed the button to celebrate because of the red light button pusher. So, you know, I'll take some of the blame, but at the end of the day, everyone, even the announcers on the Brandon Assel thought it was a goal too.
Yep.
So, but it's one of those ones that hits the bar perfectly on the bottom, goes directly down onto the goal line and back out. So at first it looked like it maybe hit the back bar and came out, but no, it was definitely off the outside bar and down and out.
Yeah, it's definitely like a perfect storm situation there for sure.
Yeah, so let's a down to the broadcast because the stream has sucked so far. A down for Sammy Blais for not playing to the whistle, even though he thought he scored. But an up to Archdeep Bains for getting his second goal in as many games, and a big one to get back into this game before we move into the third period.
Yep, and an up to the penalty kill. Just taking care of business as usual, as they have all postseason long. And it was towards the end of the regular season as well. I mean, it wasn't just a postseason phenomenon. They finished I think the last 4 games of the regular season, they were perfect on the penalty kill as well. So not an irregular thing for them.
Well, and the other thing too here is that the Shelov's finally got an assist last game, so he's on the board for that as well, which we didn't really get a chance to talk about too, but that's always fun to see. Shelov's makes a save, Sasson picks it up, and then Bains scores the goal. So Bains giving Shelov's an assist, which is always good to see last game.
Yep. Yeah, no, you love to see a goalie getting an apple here or there, because they don't get a lot of love.
Speaking of goalies getting apple, did you see Cheech finally got his assist on the Gordie Howe's last goal?
I saw that. What was it? How many years later?
It's got to be like 50 years or something like that now, right?
Yep. It's got to be something crazy. Hold on, I hear my dog going nuts.
What is your dog up to?
Got to do inspection.
Yeah, the full inspection. Are you in your new house right now?
I am. Yeah. What's going on out here, you crazies?
So the next news item we wanted to talk about. Oh, there he is. Look at this. Oh, yes. Look at the good boy.
There we go. That's Snuggles.
Such a cutie.
Just on the phone, buddy. Okay.
What kind of dog is it?
We're going to bed soon. Okay. Border Collie.
Border Collie. Okay. Yeah. So our dogs would definitely get along.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So good news for Dusty. They finally announced it the other day. Yogi's gone.
Hey, boo boo. Go find picnic baskets somewhere else.
So it's funny too, because so it's a couple actually. So it's Yogi's gone, but we also have Sergei Gonchar has officially announced that he is also going to be gone, and then Dylan Crawford, who's a video coach for the Canucks. He's actually Mark Crawford's son, which I didn't know. So he's also been released from the team. Sergei Gonchar was a part-time guy for this team. Obviously was a helpful guy to have around, being a Hall of Famer and being a really good defenseman. But Dustin, you never really were a big fan of Yogi, so you're probably happy to see him join his buddy Talkett down there in Philly, eh?
Oh yeah, he can go ruin their scoring. I mean, you saw how flat it was here. Philadelphia Flyers fans are not gonna take very kindly to that style of play. I'm really curious to see. I mean, you'll see it. You'll see no bumper on the power play. Matvey Michkov will be neutered. I mean, he is the talent, but like it'll be really interesting to see how he plays into a system structured by Talkett and Yogi. Yogi, it was his first year here in Vancouver with Foote, and he really didn't show any reason to get another job, which is he really didn't show me that he deserved to be behind an NHL bench. He was a development coach, which is fine, but just when you're supposed to be running the offense and you pretty much come up with the worst offense in the league, it's pretty tough to argue any positives for him. Unfortunately, we saw how stale it was. No shots on net. Struggled for every single person on the team to score. So yeah, good riddance.
Which brings us to our next point. Foote finally hires the help. So we've got 3 new guys coming in. We got Brett McLean, we got Kevin Dean, we got Scott Young. I think we know the most about Kevin Dean, Dusty. Really, probably the most solid hire, I would say, out of the 3. A really solid defensive guy to have joining this team to run the defense for Foote, because as the head coach, he won't be able to do that. Yeah,
and I mean, he's a penalty kill specialist, so given what we had last year, it should continue into this season. In Brett McLean, I mean, he did have a hand in developing talents like Marco Rossi and Matt Boldy over in Minnesota. However, his recent coaching stint was with the Iowa Wild, their AHL affiliate, and they finished dead last in the AHL offensively. Now, that could potentially be a product of all those young players being up with the Wild, the Minnesota Wild, rather than with their farm team, and they maybe weren't left with much on their farm team offensively. I don't know, because I didn't really dig deep into the Iowa Wild's roster. But
no, you're 100% right on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he brings to the table. It can't be any worse than Yogi. So there's that.
It kind of makes it even more impressive to see the Abbey Canucks doing what they're doing then, because Abbey had the same level of injuries as Minnesota did, but the Iowa Wild is not playing in the Western Conference Finals in the AHL right now. But Manny Malhotra's Abbey Canucks is.
Definitely. And then Scott Young is he's been with the Vancouver for a bit. He was another development coach who's getting a chance. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
I'm trying to be optimistic. It's very, very inexperienced bench at the NHL level. So we will see what happens. You and I have talked about there being a short leash anyways, and a lot of these guys are cheap hires. So if they don't work out, it's really not that big of a deal to pull the chute and maybe move on to someone who might be coaching, in the Calder Cup finals here soon.
With regards to Manny that we brought up, does this change his status with the club now that they've hired their assistants? Because that was one of the things we maybe talked about. Maybe Manny comes up as an assistant to run the offense. But then again, we're like, maybe he doesn't want to do that. Are you hoping the short leash on these guys is going to keep Manny Malhotra as the Abbey Canucks head coach for next year?
I hope there's been some sort of conversation with Malhotra, given what has happened and given what he's doing with Abbotsford. Hiring Foote when it happened felt a lot like a snap decision. There was so much rumbles about Quinn Hughes and his future, and then Foote's his favorite and all of that. And then, you're left with hiring someone. The knock on Manny was that he was inexperienced, and then you go and hire Foote, who has less experience at the NHL level than Manny Malhotra does. So that is difficult. And then the deeper Malhotra goes into the playoffs, this is just overachieving with a team that really never should have even made the playoffs, is now one win away from the Calder Cup final. So, the patience of the fans is going to be really thin because a lot of the NHL Canucks fans are now jumping on the Abbotsford Canucks bandwagon. And so, they're seeing the style of structure that Malhotra coaches and the energy that he brings to the team brings. And it's going to be a tough pill to swallow if coming out of the gates next year, they struggle underfoot.
Well, maybe some good moves after, maybe not being so sure about the hires. We've got the Vancouver Canucks brass have been touring practice facilities. How hopeful does that make you that the Vancouver Canucks are moving towards actually having a practice facility soon for this NHL franchise?
Well, the fact that our owner's main business venture is real estate and development, it's really crazy to me that it's taking so long to find a piece of land to build your own practice facility. So, it's about time, but realistically now it's just kind of about getting with the times. You've heard many players say already it's not that big of a deal to them. Rogers Arena has a state-of-the-art exercise facility for them. They did renovate that whole dressing room for the Vancouver Canucks, in the 2010s. And so, it's not like they have nothing to work with. It's just they don't have the 3-rink facility where defense can go work on one rink, offense can go work on another rink, and your hurt guys can go work on another one.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have that luxury, which, at the NHL level, you probably should have, especially when you're one of the teams that is trying to compete as a Stanley Cup contender and you spend to the cap pretty much every year. It just makes sense.
All right. Last and probably the most important item, new place. So bigger place. Is that the reason for the move? You guys got a little more space for the growing family?
No, it's actually a smaller place. The place we had before had a suite in it that we don't really need anymore. It was for a nanny that we had to help out with Oliver previously when he was super young. So, it's just downsizing into something that's going to be a little more workable for the future and just fits our family better now. And it's just better overall. Right now, it's a disaster. The stress levels are high, but everyone is happy and loving and working forward here to find light on the other side of the tunnel.
Who's handling it the best out of the family? The dog, the wife, or the kid, or you?
Probably the kid.
Yeah. How old's your kid now?
Probably the kid. He's 8.
8.
Oliver's 8 now.
Yeah.
So he's having a blast. He's all excited to set up his new playroom and everything. But I got to get him to bed shortly here. So
yeah.
Once I sign off with you, I'll get him to bed and then tune into the third period so we can have a chat post game.
Awesome. Dustin, thank you very much for joining us for this Rusty and Dusty Sideshow. I know if you noticed, we do now have a Rusty and Dusty emoji. It is just very basic, but we do have that ability now for people to celebrate it.
Basic is all we need, buddy.
Yeah, we're a couple of basic bitches here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Awesome, Dustin. Enjoy the third period, and we'll see how she goes, and then we'll see you for the post-game show, brother.
See you as well. We'll talk to you then.
Nothing is perfect.